What's going on, guys? Dakota Flatline Detonation here. Thanks for watching. Actually just hit 500 subscribers. Pretty cool. Nothing to brag about, but at least I know you guys are watching these videos. Today we're gonna EJ20 swap my 74 Datsun. I'm totally kidding. I can't even keep a straight face. No, we're gonna continue with LS swapping my 74 Datsun. If you guys are just tuning in, the car has an LM4 aluminum 5.3 and a TR6060 out of a 2010 Camaro. So today what I want to do is get that transmission officially mounted in there, rock solid, and get a third pedal in the car because it wasn't automatic, which is super lame. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually head to the U-Pullet yard and go see if we can find some Datsun stuff. Fingers crossed. I don't know if we're gonna find anything.
Not quite, wrong year. Ooh, 300Z. Might need the rear diff out of this one later. Ooh, what is this hiding away over here? I see a master cylinder. Ooh, what a mess. Hey, a man pedal. This'll work. Oh boy, that was a less than OEM removal, but I got it out. Good to go. This car actually looks like I could steal some of the interior too. So let's go ahead and do that before I head out of here.
Looks like everything I need. I even got the master. I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not. It's old, so I mean, it might just not work at all, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be strong enough to push in the TR6060's slave. Gonna find out on that. If it doesn't work, it's an easy swap. But I'm looking at this now. Let's hop in the car. I was assuming that you had to swap everything out. Looks like there's a spot for the master to go through up in there. And there's actually a spot for the pedals to actually bolt into. That makes things way easier because I don't have to remove all this. I'm pretty sure I'd have to remove the actual dash out of the car to get the assembly out of there. So I'll just unbolt this pedal. I'll unbolt the two pedals from the assembly I got from the junkyard, and that should make things really, really, really easy for me. I got a bunch of trim pieces, which is cool. This stuff is hella brittle. It was hilarious walking out. I had the B pillars around my neck, holding all of it. It was like I'd die before I take 2 trips. Some things that are weird about these cars I didn't know until I bought one. I got this stuff. I was super happy. It was in good shape, except it's from a 78, so it's too tall. And then the B pillars I got, 78s had speakers, which my car does not, as you can see. So this stuff will work. It'll just have the spot for a speaker, but there won't be any speaker behind it. If anything, I can use this stuff as templates to reupholster or maybe do like a dry carbon over the top of all this stuff. I think that would be pretty cool, just because this stuff is crazy brittle. I had the the A pillar trim pieces, which my car does not. My car has the fabric version of that. If you guys are looking to buy a Datsun S30 chassis, just be aware everything isn't the same between years. That was crazy easy. I wish I would have just done that at the junkyard. Literally 1 bolt. So that's your new shortened brake pedal. And voila, clutch spring, your clutch pedal, and that's pretty much everything I need to put a clutch in the car. Kind of, not really though. Gross one pedal is all unbolted. There we go. Voila. Out with the 1, in with the 2. I'm actually missing the bump stop, so I'll have to swap that over. And then I can get these guys in there. Ta-da! That wasn't too bad. Thank God for gear wrenches, because that guy way up there was really hard to get to. Before I put the spring in on this one, I need to put the master in. So let's go up top and do that. Super convenient. The bolts are already there. There's like a little cap off plate. I just gotta take this guy off and I can bolt the master right up. That's pretty sweet. Boom. That was easy enough. Now just to slide this guy in there. Man, this is almost going too easy. But I know there's harder stuff to come, so I'm not getting my hopes up the whole project to be this easy. Oh. Well, that's probably the next thing I should do is get all this junk working together. Now for shifter. This is the stock shifter on a TR6060. It mounts to the chassis in the back side. It has 2 little mount points that go to the trans and then the linkage. So what I plan to do, and I'm copying this off of someone that already has done this, is take this mount, we'll cut it here so it's just a 4-bolt mount. I'll take and cut this off the bottom and weld it here. Now, the longer I make this, the shorter the throw should be. So I can make it all the way down to here, and I'd probably only have to move it like an inch to shift, but obviously that doesn't work with clearance. So I'll have to figure that out on how much height I can put this at, so I can get the shortest throw. Kind of 2 birds with 1 stone, since I have to make my own shifter. In my opinion, that's the biggest reason a lot of people aren't doing the TR6060, because there isn't a lot of options for shifter. I did see that Sinky, I don't know how to pronounce it, they just came out with one, but it's like $600 or $700. So I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on a shifter. I'm hoping to just get a nice feeling shifter for about 80 bucks. I paid, I think, 50 on eBay for this guy, and I've got scrap metal laying around. I know I can make something work. Let's hop underneath the car though. Taking a look underneath, I need to actually mount the trans before I do anything, because I need to make the mount, have the trans holding its own self up or being supported. Right now it's just sitting on the jack stand, and I've got a ratchet strap to hold it up when I need to move the car around. But as you can see, this shifter's too long, so that shift rod needs to get cut, and I'll show you that once we get this trans pulled back out. But I need to make this mount here first. So I've been just kind of messing around. I was hoping that something could go straight across, but the problem is my exhaust needs to snake right through here, go to a Y pipe, and go back out. So not a lot of room. I'm actually gonna probably cut this little ear off the trans. It doesn't do anything structurally, at least I hope it doesn't, just to get some extra space. Utilizing this 3M brake clean can, it's actually 2.5 inches, so you can kind of see how tight that is to snake an exhaust through here, especially through this side. That's why I want to cut this ear off. But if I was to run the mount straight across, I wouldn't have any room for this. So my thoughts are to get like a 3/8 or 1/2 inch just flat stock, and I'll plate this way. I'll run it up, back down and in. I don't know how feasible that's going to be, but I really don't want to have the exhaust hang down. I want it to be as as high as possible. I want it to be right in line with the bottom of the trans. That'll be the lowest point of the car. But I don't have a ton of room, especially right here, to run exhaust. I thought about oval, but I feel like I'm gonna change the car up a few times, and I don't want to build a really nice exhaust system and then have to just completely redo it. And when you go from round tubing to oval back to round tubing, it's just a lot of fittings, and that can get pretty expensive. And I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. So I need to go to the store, get some metal, and then start on that trans mount, figure this stuff out from there. Can't really do a whole lot more on that transmission mount today. I ordered a cheap Eastwood welder so I can start kind of fabricating my own stuff. I did get my throttle cable in with the adapter. I got the low car stuff. It's a part number for you, and the other part number. I got the 36-inch one. Everyone seemed to use this one. Kind of expensive. It was about $100 for both of these, but it looks really, really nice. So let's go ahead and box it and see if we can install it on the car. All right, so fit and finish, pretty good. As you can see, I had to take this back off in order to get the threaded portion of it back into there. Kind of hard to get to that bolt, but not impossible by any means. Gonna probably have to figure out how I want to like maybe mount this so it's not kind of rattling around. Maybe just something through the fuel rail here. There's a little eyelet. I just put a little eyelet there maybe. This has got to run back here. Next I need to take off this factory piece here along with this factory piece, and then I'll have to make a mount right here for this to bolt through so that can sit just like that. This piece get mounted straight to there, and then we should have a working pedal. So let's get to it. Sticking with the keep it simple stupid, I was at the store and kind of eyeballing these brackets. They're like for shelving and stuff, and I was like, man, this spacing looks pretty dang close to what the factory one is. This guy right here, so I was like, you know, I'll buy two of them. I bought this piece, which is actually a straight piece, and brought it back, and I was lining them up, and I'm like, oh man, that'll kind of work with the two holes here. I lined it up on this one. I was like, oh my god, that is literally exactly what I need. So what I did is I took and put it in the vise, hammered it into a 90, and now I can drill a hole in here, mount it to where the factory piece was, and I should have a working throttle cable. If you're not cheap like me, I'll throw up on the screen here. Skillard makes a little bracket, but if you're not buying some other things, for me it didn't make sense because it comes out to like $30 with shipping. But if you don't want to make it, I highly recommend getting one of those. Their stuff seems really nice. Eventually I'll order some stuff for them. But for now, I'm going to keep with my basic bracket, and this should work perfect. Got the hole drilled to fit the cable through, and I notched it. Kind of hard to see, but that allows me to simply slide the cable over, slide it through onto there, and bolt it straight up to where the factory pivot point used to be. Work out good. And then I'll just have to take the slack out of the cable on this side, and I should have a working pedal. Got that all tightened down. I took the slack out of this. There's just a little Allen set screw inside of there. Took the slack out of it. Definitely gonna have to make sure it's coming completely closed when you're off throttle. But I did read a little more here, and I can actually shorten up this cable. So I might just shorten it to run along the top here. That'll work out good. Let's go test it out. Insert V8 noise. It's working. Fully working throttle cable. Alright guys, I got some metal, and I got the most packages I've ever gotten in 2 days of my life. Finally got the welder. Actually got it all set up. Bought the Harbor Freight cheapo stand. Need to get a tank so I can actually start welding. As far as everything else goes, there's some exhaust stuff in here. There's an engine management system somewhere in here, and a bunch of other things related to transmission. I'm just gonna slide these off to the side, get them out of my way. Hopefully you guys can see this, but I used this welding rod, bent it up, and this will give me a good template on what I want to do for a transmission mount. I'm gonna weld 2 pieces here on each side, and then just bolt it to the floor pan. I'll show you guys that up top, but I wanted you to see kind of what I was working with. So basically what I want to do is this piece and another piece just like it will get welded to the floor of the car, and then I'll weld nuts on the insides of here, so then the plate can be bolted straight to it, and this gives me room for exhaust to go through here. Obviously that's not 2.5 inches, but it lets me put the exhaust as high up as possible on both sides. I'm just going to remove that mount underneath the car, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flat stock piece of steel and an angle grinder. In every spot that there is a bend, I'll cut a relief cut in here, and that will allow me to bend the metal. And after it's bent, everything's in shape. I can use my welder over here, weld up all the joints back so they're solid, and that should be strong enough. I'm no fabricator. This isn't a professional garage, obviously. It's a one-stall garage I'm working in right now. But I think that should work. If it doesn't work, it's pretty simple to redo. Got my holes drilled in it. And now I need to start the cut to make the bend. All right, the first cut is done, and the first bend is done. It's moving along slowly. Don't look too close at my welds, but this should hold. It's only got to hold like, what, 500 horsepower? Next up is going to be attaching this guy here to here. This is gonna get welded to the floor of the car. My first method with just cutting and bending, and it was working until I got to these two. I didn't account for how much the bend was this way. This was just smashed straight into the side of the trans tunnel. So I just had to weld it on normally. It seems to be working. Like this side was fine, but yeah, I'm not even gonna show you that side of the weld. It should hold, it should be fine. Alright, let's get this one welded on, then I can cut the extra off of this. So the actual mount itself is pretty much done. So what I'm working on now is the actual mount to the car. So I've got these giant holes here, and I've got these side holes here. What I plan on doing is you take a bolt, slide the bolt in, and once it's in there, you can't really see, but once it's in there and then in place, through these 2 little side holes, I've got to drill 2 more on this side. You can weld that nut in place and it'll be a capture nut, and then this can get welded to the body. I'll drill 2 holes in either side of this, cut off the excess, and then I can bolt this straight to the body. So now you can see kind of what I'm talking about. There's the nut inside the hole, nut inside of there. This bolt is too long, but I'll cut it off afterwards. This is a factory bolt out of something in the GM engine. So I'm gonna get a bunch of these, that way I have the same size head for all the hardware. But let's get to tacking that in, and then I'll glue this bad boy onto the car. Just like that, it's all welded in. Forgot to turn the gas on that one, but should be good. Okay, so the 2 are threaded in there. You can see they're both tacked in on each side. And then I just need to drill the holes so it can be bolted through, just like that. And we should have a nice solid mount. Ta-da! Okay, it's kind of dark down here, but you can see, you know, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it should work just fine. Plenty of clearance for the exhaust to come through each side here. I tacked it in. I don't have it finish welded. My little Eastwood there, I don't know, it's kind of doing some weird things, so I might reach out to my good friend who's a professional welder, see what he thinks. Maybe he'll use his welder and finish it up. But for now, it's holding the trans up. I don't need my ratchet strap dangling down anymore. Yeah, let's jump up top and I'll show you some stuff. All right, try to move this ratchet strap out of here now that I don't need it. You guys can kind of see down in there, everything looks to be, or it should be to be. I did notice with the shifter, width-wise, it does not fit in the hole. I really didn't want to cut up this trans tunnel, but I might have to, so something to think on, I guess. Or figure out, maybe I can slide this underneath there, but I really don't think there's going to be enough room for the shifter assembly and everything, so I might have to cut out this tunnel to make that fit. But for now, I'm going to call it a day, a night, a week. I'm not really sure how long I'm going to work on it. My heater just ran out of gas, and I just filled that propane tank up yesterday. So I might just take the next couple months to gather some parts. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I have all those boxes over there. Might do an unboxing video next week sometime, or I don't know. I've been really lazy with putting videos out. But let me know if you guys want to see all that stuff. There's a box I haven't opened yet that I really want to see. Actually, there's a couple boxes that I haven't opened yet. So I guess it'd be kind of cool to do an unboxing video and show you guys everything. For now, an engine is in the car, the throttle pedal and the clutch and all that stuff works. Transmission is being held up by its own mount now. I guess I'm making some progress, but as you can tell, I see my breath right now. It's freezing outside. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too long, and we'll see you guys next time.